Elena Beaumont had never been stood up before. Not once in her 32 years of life had she sat at a restaurant, dressed in a designer dress worth more than some people's monthly rent, staring at the untouched glass of Chardonnay across from her and feeling like a fool. But tonight, it happened. Her so-called perfect match, arranged by her well-meaning best friend, had sent a half-hearted text an hour before, "Sorry, something came up." "Rain check?" Elena forced a smile in the candlelight, pretending she wasn't humiliated. Everyone assumed Elena's life was flawless, successful in her father's real estate firm, living in a penthouse overlooking the city, driving cars most people only admired in magazines. Yet here she was, alone, with the sinking realization that none of those things filled the ache in her chest. When she finally left the restaurant, frustrated and deflated, her bad luck doubled. Her sleek luxury car refused to start in the parking lot. She sat behind the wheel, gripping it, fighting the urge to cry. That was when the sound of a toolbox clanking nearby drew her attention. A man in a faded work shirt, grease on his hands, was kneeling beside an old pickup truck, fixing something with quiet focus. He looked up at her, dark eyes under messy brown hair, worn jeans, and a tired but kind smile. "Car trouble?" he asked, standing and wiping his hands on a rag. Elena hesitated. She wasn't used to asking strangers for help. "It just won't start." Of all nights. The man gave a little chuckle, walked over, and introduced himself. "Name's Daniel." "Let me take a look." Within minutes, Daniel diagnosed the problem, his hands moving with practiced ease under the hood. Elena watched him, surprised at the steadiness in his voice, the confidence. She had dated men in tailored suits who couldn't even change a tire, yet this mechanic seemed to carry a quiet strength she hadn't known she needed. When he finally coaxed her car back to life, she exhaled in relief. "Thank you," she said softly, genuinely. "No problem," Daniel replied, wiping sweat from his brow. "Happens to the best of them. Just, maybe don't ignore that battery light next time." His smile wasn't flirtatious. It was real. And that alone struck Elena in a way expensive roses and rehearsed compliments never had. The next week, Elena couldn't stop thinking about him. She told herself it was ridiculous, she had been stood up, vulnerable, and he just happened to be there. But fate had other plans. She ran into him again at a small grocery store on the edge of town, a place she rarely visited. This time, she noticed the little girl holding his hand. Dark curls, wide eyes, and the same warm smile. "My daughter, Lily," Daniel introduced proudly. Elena's chest tightened. The girl was maybe 6 or 7, clutching a worn teddy bear. She looked shy but curious about Elena's designer bag and heels. Elena crouched down, smiling softly. "Hi, Lily. That's a lovely bear you have." The child beamed, and Elena's heart melted. From that moment, something began to shift. But love stories aren't fairy tales, they come with complications. Daniel was a single father. His wife had passed away years ago, leaving him to raise Lily on his own. Between running his small repair shop and parenting, his life was full, exhausting, and far from glamorous. Elena, on the other hand, came from wealth and expectations. Her father had already lined up a suitable fiancé, someone from a wealthy family, someone who could merge empires. When Elena mentioned Daniel casually to her friends, they laughed. "A mechanic? Elena, darling, that's not your world." Even her father warned her sternly, that man cannot give you the life you deserve. He's beneath you. But Elena had seen something those people hadn't. She saw how Daniel's hands, though calloused, were gentle when helping Lily tie her shoes. She saw how his laugh came from the heart, how he made her feel seen in ways that polished businessmen never had. Still, challenges weighed heavy. Elena struggled with her own pride. Could she truly fit into Daniel's modest world, with its bills, scraped knees, and second-hand toys? Daniel, too, doubted himself. He wondered if Elena could ever truly choose a man who had grease under his nails and a bank account that barely stretched from month to month. The turning point came one rainy evening. Elena had agreed to join them for dinner at Daniel's small house. The roof leaked slightly, the furniture was worn, but laughter filled every corner. Lily insisted Elena join in her bedtime story, climbing into her lap as if it were the most natural thing in the world. After tucking her in, Elena found Daniel in the kitchen, washing dishes by hand. He looked up, embarrassed. "I know this isn't what you're used to. I don't have much to offer." Elena stepped closer, her voice trembling. "Daniel, don't you see? This, your kindness, your honesty, your love for your daughter, it's everything I've ever wanted. The rest doesn't matter." Daniel's eyes searched hers, full of disbelief and hope. And in that moment, something unshakable bloomed between them. Of course, the world didn't accept it easily. Elena's father threatened to cut her off if she pursued Daniel. Friends whispered. Gossip spread. Daniel nearly pushed her away, afraid of ruining her future. But Elena had finally found her voice. For once, she refused to live for anyone else's approval. She left the high-rise office, the cocktail parties, the endless charade of perfection. She chose late-night talks in Daniel's kitchen, road trips in his pickup truck, and Saturday mornings at Lily's soccer games. And slowly, her father began to see the truth. He saw his daughter's joy, her laughter, the peace she carried now. Wealth had never given her that. Daniel had. Months later, at Lily's school play, Elena sat in the audience with Daniel's hand clasped firmly in hers. When Lily spotted them and waved proudly, Elena's eyes brimmed with tears. This was her family now. Not perfect. Not polished. But real. And so, what began as a blind date disaster became the greatest blessing of Elena's life. She had gone searching for the man of her dreams in all the wrong places, only to find him where she least expected, under the hood of her broken car, holding the hand of a little girl who would soon call her mom. Sometimes love doesn't come wrapped in the package you expect. Sometimes it arrives with grease-stained hands, second-hand shoes, and a child's laughter, but it is deeper, richer, and more real than anything money can buy. If this story touched your heart, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever discovered love or happiness in a place you least expected? And don't forget to support our channel Be Kind Always by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video with someone who needs a reminder that love can be found in the simplest, most beautiful places.